Colorado Vincentian Volunteers has been, more than anything, an exploration into companionship. The slogan, Companions on the Journey, while in the beginning more of a joke amongst us year 25ers than an actual motto for the year, has become a bedrock upon which I have built relationships with my own community, at my worksite, and in my general interactions with others. Working at Dominican Home Health Agency as a patient health advocate, my day-to-day tasks look vastly different, but a common thread of those tasks is that of companionship. When we set up a wellness clinic at a senior living building, the residents who come to see us come with the pretense of checking on their health, but for many, the real reason is to just find someone to talk to, someone who will listen. Many of them see multiple doctors more than they can keep track of themselves. They do not need more medical advice. What they need is a friend, a companion. This has become especially apparent for some of the Spanish-speaking residents who now come to visit us regularly. Language differences pose a significant barrier to companionship, a barrier that I have had the honor of helping overcome. My most notable experience of this type of companionship occurred not through work at Dominican, but rather through a chance encounter with one of my community members. A friend of a friend works for an immigration law office in New Mexico and had a client about to go to court here in Denver. The client spoke only Spanish, and her designated companion had dropped out at the last minute, so they needed to find someone, and quick. My name was suggested, and I gladly took the opportunity. I had never done anything of this sort before, but wanted to get a first-hand glimpse inside our country's immigration system. I met Londres outside of the federal courthouse in downtown Denver. She was a young, shy woman, ardently apologizing for just being a few minutes later than the meeting time that we had agreed upon. No te preocupes, I assured her. We are still early, but we should go inside and find our seats. We passed security, entered the small courtroom, and took our seats in the second-to-last row of wooden pews. Londres did not have an attorney present, and therefore was placed at the back of the line. This meant that, for 2 uncertain hours, we sat, waited, and watched case after case get called to the stand. I gave her reassuring smiles whenever I could, asking her if she needed water, a snack, or anything else I could provide. There was not much space for conversation, as we had to be quiet and polite in the courtroom. So, we just sat in each other's company until finally her case was called. I nudged her gently with my elbow, gave her a smile, and said, "Ahora es su turno." Now it's your turn. She stood up uneasily and proceeded to the stand. All those hours of waiting, and her time at the stand took all of 10 minutes. Just enough time for her next date to be scheduled over 2 years from now. More waiting and more uncertainty. As we exited the courthouse, I was able to ask her about her family. She told me that she is married and has one son, who, incidentally, she was now late to pick up from school. I helped her to call an Uber, which arrived shortly, and we said our quick goodbyes. On the outside, this time spent at the courthouse does not seem to be very difficult or significant. I sat on a wooden bench for almost 3 hours, without saying many words. But as I reflect, I remind myself that this was my sole purpose there, to be her companion. To be present with Londres for surely one of the most frightening and uncertain moments of her life. To be someone who could at least reduce some of the stress, point her in the direction of the right courtroom, the right seat, and let her know when it was her time to stand. So much of the importance of this year, and of life, is in these little things. The quiet nudges, the smiles, the signs letting others know that we hear them and we are here for them. We companion each other, as human beings, throughout life's big and little moments. Whether our time together lasts 3 hours in a courtroom, 11 months in a service program, or for the rest of our respective lives, it is both the most and the very least that we can do. Companion each other on our journeys.